Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kylie. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I actually got ready for once in my life for a video, which is crazy. This is like a newer goal of mine, but I'm like, I need to put in more effort daily with my appearance. Like nothing crazy, but I'm like, it takes me 10 minutes to do makeup and hair. So like you might as well just zhuzh it up a little bit. I also feel more confident like when I do that. So I'm like, just do it. You guys lay down. They literally always have to be a part of everything. Which is so cute though. You should be a part of it. Today we are doing a very highly requested video, which is my fitness journey overall, which has looked not like a roller coaster, but like kind of. So I had you guys ask me questions on my Instagram story and I'll answer some of those, but also I just want to like give you an overview of like my fitness journey in general because it is very long. I know some people can relate to it, some people can't. A lot of people have been here from like the very beginning when I was still in college and some of you are newer. So basically how I got into fitness, let's start there. I have been playing soccer ever since I can remember. Like my parents put me in soccer. They put me in a lot of things. They put me in like gymnastics, soccer, cheerleading, basketball, softball for a day until I like missed the ball. It hit me in the nose and then I quit and never went back. But soccer was the one that stuck for me. And I've been playing literally since I was in kindergarten. At first, I didn't love it. I think as all kids, you're like dragged to sports. I really like didn't love it. I remember going to my parents and being like, I'm quitting. I hate this. It's so much running. It sucks. Why does anybody do this? Thank God they didn't let me quit because it turns out I was actually like kind of decent at it. I've always been like super active as a kid. I just was always like playing all kinds of sports. And then when I got into middle school, I started like playing like select soccer. Okay, you gotta chill. I think it was called Select back then, which is like kind of where you can get recruited. Like for colleges and stuff, it's like a little more intense than just rec. And then into high school, I was still playing soccer. I was playing on my high school team and on my select team. So I would have 2 practices a day, basically every single day. Yeah, literally every single day. I would go to high school practice and then I would drive. I would maybe have like an hour at home max. Sometimes I would only have 30 minutes and then I would drive like 45 minutes to my select soccer practice. And then I would get home around like 9 and then I'd do it all again the next day. But like, I loved it. I loved all the girls on my team. I just love soccer. So it never felt like exercise to me. Like genuinely, I didn't even ever think about exercising because I was just like always playing soccer. And then obviously I got recruited to go to Baylor and then I played college soccer there. That was like the most intense. Like okay, that is my house shoe. You've gotta chill. You gotta chill. She says, I have none. I have no chill. So when I got to Baylor, that college soccer was like very intense, very intense. I don't regret a single second because I loved it, but it was very intense. Like in preseason, you would have 2-a-days for I think like 2 weeks straight, which was a lot. We had like so many fitness tests and obviously we had 2 games every single week. So usually on a Friday and a Sunday and practice every single day and weightlifting every single day. So it was a lot. It was a lot, but I loved it. So, and I always had someone like telling me what to do. So I never even thought twice about fitness because I was just like so playing a sport. Like my mind was on like winning games and getting better at my sport, not on how my body looked or tracking macros. Obviously, like they would educate us on nutrition as well. And that was a big part of it, but I didn't ever like think about what I was eating really. And honestly, looking back, I'm like, imagine if I would have been like way more into nutrition because I feel like I could have been so much better of an athlete. But I digress. So then going into my junior year, I tore my ACL and the recovery for that, still to this day, like one of the hardest things I've ever done. I had to like relearn how to walk again. I had literally no muscle on my left leg. Like it had all atrophied. My legs it was like comparing your thumb to your pinky. Probably worse than that actually. It was just like crazy. They were completely different sizes and I had to like relearn how to walk, relearn how to run, relearn how to cut, which was scary, how to kick a ball, everything. So that was like very intense, but I'm also don't regret that. Like obviously I had no control over it, but it taught me so much about myself and how much I truly just love like moving my body and I will never take it for granted because not being able to really put a lot of things into perspective. So then once I was recovered and I finished out my 5th year and soccer was over at this point. And this My 5th year is when I started my YouTube channel, so you guys do get like a lot of the behind the scenes of me learning what I like to do, but it kind of was a very like shell-shocking moment. I don't think anyone really prepares you for is like, you go from having someone tell you what to do like literally 24/7, like you need to eat this, you need to run this, you need to do this lift, you need to do this, and they're teaching you all of this, but also it's just laid out in front of you, and you're never really thinking like, oh, I'm trying to lift this weight to get a PR. It's like, I'm trying to lift this weight to get stronger on the field. So my goal was always very like soccer oriented. So when soccer ends or any sport ends, like you sit there and you're like, okay, so I guess I don't even have to work out at all if I don't want to. But I also like working out because I've done it my whole life. But there's no point anymore. Like there's no games to win, there's no championships to fight for, there's no practices to be ready for, no fitness tests I need to be ready for. It's just like, okay, what do I do? And I'm lucky at Baylor, they like educated us so much on like what we were doing, why we were doing it. All of that background knowledge I'm taking with me, but it's like the motivation is now gone. And some of you who like haven't played sport are like,
okay, suck it up, like whatever, you're a normal person now.
And I'm like, yes, but it just is so shell-shocking that you like don't really realize until you get out of it and you're like, that's crazy, that's crazy. What I did personally was I searched for everything I could that was gonna give me that same satisfaction feeling of like completing a soccer game, completing a fitness test, completing a really hard practice. And like, obviously nothing is gonna compare. Like the adrenaline rush and joy of winning and just like, nothing compares. Nothing compares. No fitness competition, no nothing will ever compare to it. But I did find that if I like was so incredibly exhausted after a workout, I'm like, that's close. At least I'm like feeling that exhaustion feeling, you know? Oh my gosh. So at least if I had that exhaustion feeling, like that was close enough. These were like intense hit circuits. Like usually I'd run anywhere from a mile to like 4 miles within the circuit, and then also do like incredibly hard workouts like lifts and just like a lot of jumping, a lot of moving, and they were so hard. I look back and I'm like, how did I do that every day? How did I do that every day? I was so tired after, but that's what I was like searching for, so that's why I did it every day. I quickly learned that that was like not sustainable because it was just really hard on my joints and I just couldn't do it every day. So then I transitioned more into weightlifting, which I am really good at because I'm really strong from soccer and I built up a lot of muscle over all of the years training. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. Like I can throw on some weight, sister. Honestly, after a while that also got old and I was like, I don't love the way I'm looking personally. Like I just didn't love the way I was looking, the way I was feeling. I felt very inflamed all the time. I wasn't doing any cardio. I kind of like didn't love running anymore after like I got so burnt out of the HIIT workouts. So I did that for probably like a year and a half. I got really strong. I still am really strong, but like I really got strong. But then I was like just over it. I also burnt myself out of that. Then some of our friends talked us into running a half marathon and I was like, no, I will never do that. I will never be a long distance runner. Like I'm a sprinter. I will never run long distances slow. Because the whole running slow thing, I couldn't get on board with it at the time. But all of our friends were doing it and I was like, I have FOMO. So obviously I'm gonna do it. That's kind of what kickstarted our like running journey, which I'm very, very thankful for because that really opened my eyes to like, you don't have to be like so incredibly exhausted after working out to get something from it. And it took me a while to get over the running slow aspect because in my mind, if you weren't running a 7-minute mile, like bad, not okay. And that's just like the athlete in me that I think really took some time to get over. So yeah, I've been in my running era and then obviously I got a little bit burnt out of that too. If you can't tell, I go like 100% no matter what I'm doing and then I easily get burnt out. So I finally feel like I'm at the point where I'm just like combining everything and I'm trying to listen to my body, also push myself, but in a way that my routine has a little bit of everything, you know? It has a little bit of running, it has some low intensity cardio, so I'm not gonna feel like super inflamed. I do still lift, but I don't lift as heavy as I once did. I'm realizing I like more like explosive athletic movements, obviously kind of like pulling from soccer. So I like circuits with that in them, but they don't need to be 2 hours long, like 45 minutes. Great, love it. sign me up. And also my new thing is hot Pilates, and I'm loving that as well. It's a little hard for me to get over like thinking of it as like a rest day type of thing. It is a hard workout, and doing it in the heat is like absolutely brutal. I'm starting to add that in too, and I'm liking that as well. I just feel like I've reached a point in my fitness journey where I'm a lot more balanced, and it makes me really proud to say that because I have searched for that for a really long time. Finding something that challenges me. One, I think I'm always going to want to be challenged. Two, finding something that I can be consistent in, and it's not gonna like be super hard on my joints, on my muscles. In the end, I want longevity. So I want something that I can continually do and like it makes me feel good. And three, just finding workouts that I love. I realized that I honestly love everything. A little space in my heart for every type of workout, honestly, because at the core of it, like I just love moving, and I just love exercising and moving my body, and like the release, the mental release, the mental clarity it brings me. So I'm never not going to work out. I still definitely go through ruts of like not wanting to work out, not being super motivated, not being super disciplined, as I think we all do. And I think that's gonna come and go no matter how old I get. Just giving myself grace and realizing I am not an athlete anymore, but I can train like one if I want to. But you can also give yourself a little more grace than you did back in the day. Like there is no championship on the line. There is no coach screaming in your ear like you have to get a certain time or a certain thing done. This is just something that I want to be like a healthy, maintainable lifestyle. So anyways, that's kind of my story. That's a little bit about me, a little bit of background about my love for fitness and like where it came from. Now I want to answer some questions that you guys asked me on my story. How your view of food evolved as your view of fitness has. My view on food has also very much evolved. I will say post-college, I was educated so much in college, but I don't think I ever put any of that into play, and I should have. Like looking back, I wish I would have. That's the one place I feel like I always kind of struggle is nutrition. I used to not give a care in the world about what I was eating. Like I genuinely in college like would eat whatever I want. Rightfully so. Like I was literally a D1 athlete. Like I was burning so many calories. Obviously my metabolism has slowed down post college because I don't work out that much anymore. I mean, I work out every day, but like not to that extent. I've definitely like learned a lot about like tracking macros and just like portion control. And to be honest, like I just try and eat whole foods now, where like back in college, like I didn't. I'd actually say my nutrition is a lot better nowadays than it ever was in college, just because I didn't really worry about it. And not that I worry about it now, but it's definitely been a process getting to this point where I just try and look at ingredients and I'm like, okay, so is that gonna benefit my body? I also track macros. So like for me personally, I'm such a numbers girl. Like it doesn't bother me. In fact, like I really like seeing the numbers, and I really like being consistent and knowing exactly what I'm putting in my body. So I do track macros, and I've never, ever touched that in college. So it definitely has changed a lot. Have you ever struggled with body image issues during your journey? Literally every single day. I feel like it is a constant battle. Everybody has these negative thoughts. Every single person. It's a daily choice to be like, okay, I'm gonna lean into those and like listen to those and feel bad about myself and have a bad day, or consciously ignore them and feed yourself like positivity, like knowing that you are so worthy and you're so loved regardless of what your body looks like on the day or what you think it looks like on the day. Because to be honest, your body's not gonna change that quickly. Like if you're feeling confident, beautiful, on top of the world, shredded, looking great queen 2 days ago, and today you're looking bad, like I promise you, if I saw you on the street, like you would look no different to me. It's all in your head. If you can like really come to terms with that and you're like, this is literally my own thoughts, and like I control my own thoughts. I want to fill my head to be a positive space for myself because I live in there. I don't want to be like filling myself with all these negative thoughts, but it is definitely like a daily choice to think that way. I do feel like I've come a really long way with my body image and like just the way I speak about myself and the way I think about myself from say like 3 years ago. I think there was a time in there post college and to where I am now, like somewhere in the middle, it was rough there in the middle, that I was just like, yeah, I just did not speak positively about myself or think positively about my body at all. It's hard to have a healthy relationship with fitness if you don't have like self-love for yourself at the core. That is just, it's such a daily thing. Like, I don't think I'll ever be at a point where I'm 100% self-love, but like I do fight for that every day. Did you go through a weight gain after finishing D1 soccer? Yes, but not in the way that you're probably thinking. So the thing is, once you stop playing sports, I think this is the part that you like people don't prepare you for. Once you stop playing sport, your appetite doesn't really change, but like your fitness level or like how much of fitness you're doing every single day obviously changes a lot. I think I did gain like 7 to 10 pounds post college. And then when I started lifting more, I gained like another 5 pounds. So I'd say I was like 15 pounds heavier than when I ended college soccer. I don't really feel like it, or like honestly, I look back at photos and I look at myself now and I'm like, to be honest, I don't really think I look that different, but there is like a 10 to 15 pound difference there. What advice would you give to someone starting fitness for the first time? I love this question because I feel like I have had so much trial and error and I can give some good advice on this, honestly. The first piece of advice is find something you love to do that's active, whether it's walking, whether it's running, whether it's Pilates, whether it's yoga, whether it's weightlifting, whether it's sprinting at the track, whether it's hit circuits. Like, I don't care what it is, you can do anything. If you're sitting at 0 and like not working out at all, find something that you love that you can do consistently, because if you hate it, you're not going to do it consistently. There's just no way that you're going to do something that you hate every single day, at least starting out. Slowly but surely you can add in things that maybe you don't love to do, like a little extra cardio, but you can get it done because you have made so many healthy choices before that it makes making that choice a lot easier. But yeah, just try and find some sort of movement that you love and slowly add on to that. Because then one day you're gonna wake up, you're gonna have a full fitness routine that you love every single second of it. And you're gonna be like, wow, I'm so proud of myself when I used to come home after work and sit on the couch and get 1,000 steps a day. Do you incorporate faith into your fitness routine? I love this question. I wish I was better at this, truly, but I do think everything in life is kind of about your mindset. If you just like sit here and you really think about like God as your father and how he made you, and how if you kind of look at yourself from his eyes and you realize how loved and how perfect he made you, and you're sitting here in this body that he gave you, and it's like, I want to honor this body the best that I can. I feel like I saw an Instagram quote about this and it was like, when you die and you get to heaven and you're talking to God, it's like he shows you your life and then he shows you what he had planned for your life. I kind of try and like relay that into fitness of like, I want to reach my full potential in every aspect of my life, fitness included. I want to treat my body the best that I can. I want to recover right. I also want to get movement every single day. Like, our bodies weren't meant to sit still. I want to fuel my body with fruits and vegetables and meats and like things from the earth and not chemicals, and just like stuff that's going to make me feel my absolute best. I feel like it's just a mindset that I try and have of like, okay, why am I doing what I'm doing? And for me, that's like, I really want to honor my body and I really want to honor the Lord. And my last question, what's the biggest perspective shift that you've had in this journey? Is that I'm doing this because I love my body, not because I hate my body. And that was a really tough thing for me to actually ingrain in my brain. I think if you struggle with like body image issues, you know how hard it is to like silence those negative thoughts. And I touched on this a little bit earlier, but truly, if you can get to a point where you're like, the reason I'm working out, the reason I'm going on this run, the reason that I'm going to the gym, the reason that I'm choosing this healthy meal versus this unhealthy one, all of those reasons, like the reason behind it, the core thing that's in me is like, I love my body and I want to give it the best of the best. Like, just how you want the best of the best in your life and like mentally, you should want the same thing for your body. Getting to that point was really hard. It was like separating like my feelings maybe of like how I felt about my body the day of versus like truth. And truth is like, I want the best for my body. I do, at the end of the day, regardless of how I'm feeling about it in the current moment. I love it and I want to fuel it and I want to feel my best. Yeah, I feel like that's just been the biggest perspective shift, is like I get to go work out. I get to make these healthy choices. I don't have to. It's not a have to. It's a I get to, and it's a gift. And that's really been like the biggest perspective shift for me. Obviously, I don't have this like every single day. I try to. I definitely try to, and I have more good days than bad at this point. But like obviously, there's a time where this didn't come naturally, and it's just like a practice that you have to put into place every single day. Like you have to choose to think that way. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and my fitness journey. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I hope you guys can take something away from this video. I hope that it just like can resonate with one of you, motivates you to go on a walk, maybe start your fitness journey. Maybe you're already in your fitness journey and you just needed a little bit of boost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.